Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our musical farm here in the Red River Valley. My name is Cole McDonald. Everyone plays a string instrument on our farm, so come with me and meet all the barnyard musicians as they play an early afternoon morning concert entitled Prelude to an Afternoon on a Farm. Yo, Mr. McDonald, we could use a little help out here. Sorry, we seem to be missing one of our musicians. Has anyone seen the duck? I guess he must have ducked out for a minute. Come on out. I've got some quackers for you. Please give a welcome to our musical leader, the conductor. Hi, my name is Jonathan Iba, and today I'll be conducting Bob Phillips' Prelude to an Afternoon on a Farm. The first group of musicians we would like to feature are the Roosters, who play first violin. Rock-a-doodle-doo. Out here on the farm, we get up pretty early and often like to start our day with some rooster aerobics. Here comes our aerobics leader, Rooster Simmons, working out a piece called Rock-a-doodle-doo. Next, we are going to ask our chickens to perform for us. Are all y'all chickens ready? For those of you who don't speak Chickenese, our second violin section of chickens would like to play the chicken dance. Hey, what are you guys? A bunch of chickens? Let's try that one more time. terrific turkeys would like to introduce you to one of the orchestra's most important instruments, the the viola. Don't mind them. They're just all a bunch of gobbleheads. I know whatever the violas decide to play, it will be very tasty, and we will all be thankful for it. Hey, it sounds like all the horses are chomping at the bits. Of course, the horses like to sing as well as the cello. As well as they play the cello, that is. They all belong to a famous vocal ensemble called the Horse Chorale. Unfortunately, they won't be able to sing today because all the ponies are a little hoarse. Listen carefully and see if you can recognize the main theme. How about you guys saddle up and get ready to take us on a musical ride? Now you may be wondering, who writes all this music? This great music. I should tell you that the last piece was written by a very famous string musician from the old West. None other than the Lone Arranger. Our last section to play for you is the basses. So what are y'all bass playing basses gonna play today? Sorry, I couldn't hear you over here. Could one of you use a bullhorn? We hope everyone has enjoyed our performance so far. I should let you all know our next performance is our annual winter show, Pigs on Ice. It's a great skating show, although the performers do tend to ham it up. Well, now that you have had a chance to meet all of our barnyard musicians, they would like to finish with a barnyard tune for y'all. Even Cole McDonald has his own theme, and I know you will love it. Because I do. Because I am Cole McDonald. In fact, if you clap and say yeehaw at the end, they might play it again. Here it is, the Cole McDonald Hoedown. Hello there. All right, so this is the talking through of my lesson plan portion of the project. So I'll briefly go through everything that you've probably already read, and then talk about a few of my reasons why I'm doing this kind of stuff, and some of the problems that might arise technically for the students. So this is an 8th grade string orchestra. And most of the students have been playing for a couple of years, and some of them have just switched or just started. So the ensemble has kind of starting to get a wide range of skill levels. This is the end of the year of 8th grade, so the students are getting ready to go to high school, and I think this lesson is a good attempt at kind of the higher levels of music making, and getting every student to start thinking about that stuff, whether they have the technique to play all the notes and rhythms yet or not. And so the standards: perform using expressive qualities and techniques, and then perform solos in small ensembles, contributing performance ideas collaboratively to enhance the performance. And that is mainly going to be found in the assessment activity, which is a chamber music recording. And then the learning objectives will be to describe how articulation relates to music, and to the style of music, and then performing sections of Prelude to an Afternoon on a Far, the piece, differentiating between staccato tenuto and accent articulation. So those are the 3 main articulations that we're focusing on today. The room will be set up as usual. We'll need the projector and the whiteboard that we normally have, and the normal arcs. I think one thing to think about with this lesson would be that with the students dispersing, making sure that you have some spaces. So if those are some practice rooms that some of the groups can go in, and then maybe your office, and then maybe if there's like a library, and then the rest of the students can spread out, having kind of a clutter-free zone would be helpful. So to warm up, I put on the concert A drone, and the students can tune to that. And then once done with that, we'd focus on D major and C major scales. Those are the keys of the 2 pieces from the overall piece that we're going to be working on today. And so we'll start with just some like full bowed half notes, and then we'll go to the different articulations that we'll be working on today. So we'd work on staccato, and then some tenuto, and then followed by some accents, and then the last one we'd do that in a round as well to make it more interesting. And then the lead-in, I would say, now that we have most of the notes and rhythms down, it's time to dive into other ways to make this piece musical, and that is articulation. So prompting that, and the big chunk of the lesson is working on from measures 19 to 33, the rock-a-doodle-doo section. So we'll play through it with close attention to articulations, talk about the two main styles in this piece, which is the 12-bar blues rock feel, and then the very last measures are pulled from Bach's Brandenburg Concerto. So we'll talk about those two different things, playing examples from Brandenburg Concerto No. 5 and Led Zeppelin's Rock and Roll, and talk about how articulation is used in those pieces and how the styles are so different. And then we will try playing the piece, try playing the section in the Bach style and then the more rock style, and seeing if the students can I'm looking for exaggerated differences here. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. And then I kind of wanted, well, before that, then we discuss which way they think sounded better, and then we'll talk about how we'll want to be playing more in the rock style, but how that's helpful to know how to change between those two things. And then I want to kind of make this connection that we come back to maybe in lessons the rest of the week, about how articulation is similar to speech, and depending on the way we talk, we can convey moods, emotions, all sorts of things. And so just a fun little exercise, I think I would try having the students practice saying rock-a-doodle-doo as if they were one of the Bach musicians, so maybe a little bit more rock-a-doodle-doo or something like that. They can kind of have fun with it, but the idea is to try and think about how you would say it in a certain style, and what in the way that you say it, the articulation is present. So that'll be kind of interesting. And then some problems with the accents, the students might lose the good tone if they're trying to play loud. Otherwise, the accent probably won't come across. To work on this, I would have each section kind of experiment and talk amongst their section how they can get that accent. And then going on, we'd work on the chicken dance section. We'd perform it straight through with attention to articulation, and then talk about how in this section I really want them to go for like the biggest contrast between staccato and tenuto as possible, making the staccatos really like pecky, like a chicken dancing, of course, and then the tenutos taking them to the opposite extreme and making them super operatic even. And some of the problems in this would be the staccato notes might be short and the students might be cutting them off. So we'll work on releasing the bow on them. And then the tenuto notes will definitely need much more bow. The students probably will not be using enough bows, and they won't be long enough or loud enough. So we'll work on that. And then going into the assessment, I'll briefly introduce that in the last section, the composer uses the tune Old MacDonald, as well as Bonaparte's Retreat, which is a fiddle tune, and that starts at measure 169. And I will tell them that basically the assessment is they will be getting in groups of 4, so 2 violas or 2 violins, or 1 violin, 1 violin, with 2 cellos or 2 basses, or a combination of the two. So quartets, and they're going to be playing from 169 to the end, and they need to play it in a fiddle tune style. And so what we're going to do is we're going to listen to a fiddle band's recording of the song, just about a minute of it. And then they're going to have about 10 minutes today and then 10-15 minutes next class to talk it out, write some stuff in their part, and figure out bowings, articulations, how they want to do the accents. And I kind of want to see what they come up with. I'm not going to necessarily point them, like say they have to do it a certain way. And I'll be walking around the room, kind of informally assessing their work on their written work and everything. And so then I'd wrap up that, please put your stuff away. Next rehearsal, we're going to go straight into this, so find your groups right away. And then the assessment, basically then the next class, they would come in and finish up, record, and then they have this rubric they would upload their recording, and then they have this rubric to critique their performance, each of them. And then I will use the same rubric to kind of grade and see. It won't be about if they played it perfectly. I want to see if they made decisions, and I will be able to tell that from informally assessing their written work and their discussions as I go around the room. And then I'll compare that to their recording and see if they put that work in to attempt a certain style. And I'm really interested to see what my students would come up with if I had them. And so I think that is about it. Overall, how articulation plays into the creation of awesome music. So, yeehaw.